Detective Nate Hollis. On the surface, Nate was the textbook example of a dedicated cop, known for cracking cases that left others baffled. But behind closed doors, Nate had secrets. 2 months earlier, Nate had met Veronica "Ronnie" Hayes during a robbery at the Second Federal Bank. Veronica was everything Nate wasn't: bold, reckless, and unapologetically dangerous. She was part of a crew that had been pulling off precision heists across the city for years, leaving little evidence behind. When Nate cornered her in an alley during the bank's chaos, their exchange wasn't what he expected. Instead of begging for mercy, she smirked, challenged him to shoot, and then slipped away when his hesitation gave her the opening. Something about her got under his skin. Nate, determined to bring her in, started digging into her life. What began as an investigation quickly turned personal. Late-night stakeouts became secret rendezvous, and before long, Nate found himself entangled in an affair with the very criminal he was supposed to arrest. Ronnie had a magnetic pull that Nate couldn't resist, and she reveled in the thrill of corrupting the cop who had been hunting her. Back at the station, Nate's partner, Detective Rachel Carter, was beginning to notice changes in him. Rachel was a sharp and intuitive detective, known for her no-nonsense attitude. She had been Nate's partner for 5 years and had learned to read him better than anyone. Lately, he'd been distant, taking unexplained absences and showing up late to crime scenes. She confronted him one evening, but Nate brushed her off, blaming stress and long hours. Meanwhile, Ronnie's crew was planning their biggest job yet: the vault at the Pinnacle Trust Building, which housed millions in untraceable bonds. The crew, Ronnie, her right-hand man Leo Vargas, tech expert Amanda Mandy Cruz, and muscle for hire Daryl Tank Johnson, had been working together for years, but tensions were rising. Leo, fiercely loyal to Ronnie, suspected she was distracted. He didn't know about Nate, but sensed something was off. Mandy, a sarcastic hacker, was tired of Tank's macho attitude and growing impatient with Ronnie's sudden indecision. As the heist drew closer, Nate found himself spiraling. Ronnie had confessed bits and pieces of her plan to him during their late-night encounters, not realizing that Nate's moral compass was crumbling. He knew he should turn her in, but part of him was drawn to the chaos she embodied. His double life was becoming harder to hide. At home, his wife, Emily Hollis, noticed the cracks. Emily, a schoolteacher and the mother of their 2 young children, had always been Nate's anchor, but now their marriage felt like a house of cards ready to collapse. Emily confided in her best friend, Sarah Connors, a divorce lawyer who had seen it all. Sarah urged Emily to dig deeper, suspecting Nate might be hiding an affair. Emily's suspicions grew when she found a burner phone in Nate's car, filled with cryptic messages signed R. She decided to follow him one night, enlisting Sarah's help to keep her safe. The night of the Pinnacle Trust heist arrived, and everything went wrong. Nate, unable to stop himself, showed up at the scene in plain clothes, watching from the shadows as Ronnie and her crew executed their plan. But the job was a setup. Unbeknownst to Ronnie, one of her crew members had sold them out. The police arrived in force and chaos erupted. Mandy was caught trying to disable the building's alarms, and Tank was gunned down in a firefight with SWAT. Ronnie and Leo barely escaped, disappearing into the city's labyrinth of alleys. Nate found Ronnie hours later at a safe house they'd used before. She was shaken but alive, furious about the betrayal. When Leo arrived, he immediately clashed with Nate, accusing him of being the rat. Ronnie, caught between the 2 men, demanded answers. Nate confessed everything: his job, his marriage, his divided loyalties. Stunned and betrayed, Ronnie lashed out, blaming him for the heist's failure. Leo's suspicions were confirmed when he overheard a phone call between Nate and Rachel, who had been investigating Nate's recent behavior. Furious, Leo pulled a gun on Nate, but Ronnie intervened. In the struggle, the gun went off, killing Leo instantly. Horrified, Ronnie turned on Nate, accusing him of destroying her life. Nate realized there was no way out. In a desperate attempt to cover his tracks, he shot Ronnie, staging the scene to look like a lover's quarrel turned violent. He called Rachel, reporting the scene as a domestic incident he'd stumbled upon while following a lead. Rachel's doubts about Nate deepened, but she had no concrete evidence to contradict his story. The aftermath was a slow unraveling. Emily, devastated by the revelation of Nate's affair and the burner phone, filed for divorce and took their children to live with her parents. Sarah helped her navigate the legal battle, ensuring Emily got full custody. Rachel continued digging into Nate's connection to Ronnie, uncovering discrepancies in his reports and behavior. Her investigation led her to Mandy, who had struck a deal with the police in exchange for leniency. Mandy revealed details about Nate's relationship with Ronnie, providing the missing pieces Rachel needed. Rachel confronted Nate in the precinct parking lot, presenting her evidence and demanding he come clean. Nate, cornered and desperate, made a run for it, sparking a citywide manhunt. He managed to evade capture for weeks, using his knowledge of police tactics to stay one step ahead. But his luck ran out when Rachel tracked him to a remote cabin he'd rented under a false name. The final confrontation was brutal. Nate, armed and cornered, refused to surrender. In the ensuing standoff, Rachel shot and killed him, ending his reign of deception and betrayal. The department was left to pick up the pieces, reeling from the revelation that one of their own had crossed the line. In the years that followed, the story of Nathan Hollis became a cautionary tale within law enforcement. Rachel was promoted to lieutenant, using her experience to train new detectives on the importance of integrity. Emily rebuilt her life, focusing on her children and her teaching career. Mandy disappeared after serving her sentence, rumored to have started over under a new identity, and the shadow of Ronnie Hayes lingered, a reminder of the thin line between love and destruction. Man, this case is just wild. The layers of betrayal, manipulation, and heartbreak are almost too much to wrap your head around. It really makes you wonder just how far people will go to hide their secrets and protect their double lives. What do you think about this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. The names, the details, and the sentences of this case are not real. These made-up scenarios allow us to explore suspenseful situations without exploiting real-life tragedies. Our goal is to create thought-provoking mysteries while respecting the privacy and dignity of real people. Thank you for watching, and let us know your thoughts below.